It's appropriate that the yearly observance of the Week of Prayer for Christian Unity concludes on this feast day of the conversion of St. Paul the Apostle. This annual observance brings together Christians from many different churches to pray, to reflect, and to dialogue, seeking that unity that Christ wants his followers to have. Think what a powerful witness it would be if all professing belief in Jesus as Lord were truly one. St. Paul is a great model for evangelization, for witnessing to Christ. We heard in today's first reading from the Acts of the Apostles by Luke about St. Paul's dramatic conversion to Christ. Up to that time, he had been a very observant Jew. He believed that his persecution of Christians was pleasing to God because, as he thought, they were being unfaithful to their Jewish traditions. He believed that God would be pleased with the harm that he was trying to do to any Christian he would find. Paul's call from Christ was so important in understanding the mission of the church to preach the love of Jesus to all, Jews and Gentiles alike, that we find an account of it 3 times in the book of the Acts of the Apostles. Chapter 9, chapter 22, which was our first reading this morning, and chapter 26. In each of these accounts, Paul is given a deeper insight into the significance of what happened on the road to Damascus that day and what he should do to properly respond to the voice of the Lord. Jesus chose Paul, a seemingly unlikely candidate, to bring his message of love to all peoples. So also, Jesus calls us, through baptism, to continue the work of St. Paul. Most likely not in some far-off land, but here and now in our daily life situations. We saw in today's conversion account the element of divine light and the need for Paul to be helped by others until God had enlightened him and he was ready then to do God's work. Perhaps we need to ask God to help us adjust our view of others, that we may see them as Christ wants us to see them, through the prism of his love. Perhaps we need to reflect on how St. Paul kept giving witness to Christ, even though he suffered great difficulties, beatings, imprisonments, shipwrecks, abandonment by friends, physical ailment, etc. Paul's example might help us to see that we can still give witness to Christ, even though our life situation may not be as we would like it to be. May St. Paul, the great apostle, help us to say yes to Jesus and to give witness to him as he did so well.